Welcome to the third Running Your Life podcast. I'm Louie John.
Matthew Knothe.
And, mate, how was your week? How was your weekend?
Chill. I actually none of the normal stories to tell. I spent the whole weekend inside. I had a glass of wine and watched a movie on Saturday night. It was lovely. It was relaxing. Last night I watched another movie. I went for a couple
What
runs.
movies did you watch?
Interstellar, Dead Poets Society, probably both rewatches. Mate. Interstellar for like the 12th time. Dead Poets Society for the second. So just relaxed. Needed to recharge the batteries for a bit because I've been a bit of a party animal this year. So
yeah, I can definitely relate to that, especially like the last month, dude. The last month was crazy. I was everywhere on Saturday. I was at the races, then I went to Oakley, and then I went to the city, and then to South Melbourne. Like my day started at like 10 a.m. and it finished at 4 a.m. the next day.
Couple Baroccas.
Pardon?
Couple Baroccas.
Big night? Nah. Big day.
Big day.
Yeah, what else has been happening, mate? I know you didn't want me to talk about this, but dude, what a week of carnage the last 2 weeks in Supercoach.
Okay, we're not bringing this up, man. Just shut the fuck up.
Dude. No,
but this is not a Supercoach podcast.
Did you see what Tristan Sherry did? Did you see what Sherry did?
Yeah, and you know what? It's bad, but I think they need to let him off because otherwise my team's rooted. So
that's what I'm saying. I traded him in last week because I'm like, Sherry. Yeah, literally. Free Sherry.
Free Sherry just because my Supercoach would be screwed otherwise. It's just, I don't want to think about it. Honestly, don't. I'm just going to do auto trades for the next 4 weeks. Hope sun starts shining through. I don't know, honestly, at this point.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, I did have something eventful happen on the weekend.
Hit me.
Sleeping on Saturday night, about 1 a.m., and there was an explosion on my street.
An explosion?
An explosion.
An explosion.
If anyone has watched the news over the last couple of days, there was a car that was firebombed in Moonee Ponds. And that was on my street. There were about 5 big booms. It was,
how tall was the fire?
About 6 or 7 feet high. Yeah, I mean, I hope you drop the footage in that I'll send to you, but it was an eventful
we can edit that in.
Yeah, absolutely should. It's first Saturday night home this entire year, and something interesting happens. So I'll take that.
Was it really?
My first Saturday I've been at home this year.
That's unreal. I'm just looking at my calendar now, right?
Think about it.
Have I? Yeah, hit me.
I was in Asia. First month.
Yeah, sure.
Then I think the first week back I was out. Then my birthday. Then I went out. Then we had Verge. And then I had the 21st. And it just, mate, it's been rolling on until this point. It took 3 whole months for me to not have a Saturday night out. So I'm kind of happy to just rest up.
How do you feel after that?
Resting?
Yeah, like letting the batteries recharge.
For a couple of runs on the weekend. Feel fresh. Feel mentally fresh. Feel ready to go out this Saturday night. Obviously.
There you go.
But yeah, that was it. You went out Saturday night. I heard a little bit of a Latin night.
Yeah, so I went to my mate's work in the city. So I was there for about an hour.
You were the pulp again.
Yeah, I actually don't know what it's called, but it's on level 1 because pulp is the ground floor apparently. I thought it
Yep,
was just
I know the
one
one.
thing. Yeah.
I've walked past it a
So
million times and considered going in and just never bothered.
yeah, fair. In Pulp, actually last week I walked into Pulp thinking that was the place, and it didn't look good
No, it's not.
at all.
It's not.
Like
So,
at all.
I think the biggest stint I've done in there is 30 minutes without being like, I want to go.
Yeah. Valid. Completely valid. So then I went there to his work, and then to a Latin party. It was like a reggaeton party. That was
How'd you
in
find the night
South Melbourne.
overall?
Pardon?
How'd you find the night overall?
I'm going to give you 2 ratings out of 10. I enjoyed it a 6 out of 10, but was I satisfied with it? No. So it was probably a
7
3
out of 10?
and a what?
Nothing.
Did you say it's a 7 out of 10? Was that a yes?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So no way he's about to drop this.
No. Honestly, probably a 3 out of 10, and I'm sure we'll get into that later. So should we actually
Well, do you want to just start
start the
there?
podcast? Yeah, we can.
Start there. Let's go.
Now, the reason why I didn't feel very satisfied was because like in comparison to how it was last week, my night on Saturday was very different in the sense that I didn't make the effort to go out and approach people and talk to people. And that impacted how I viewed the night, because that is something that I've been actively trying to work on, to improve, to get to meet new people, connect with new people, and I didn't do any of it at all. So I know last week we talked about, the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or even, 10 steps forward, 1 step back, and building that momentum. And Saturday night really felt like it was the 1 step back, which doesn't feel good when it happens, but it's also necessary.
Yeah, and I mean, it serves as a good message for yourself to, I mean, we probably go out this Saturday night. Like, we'll keep each other accountable in that fact. And I think it's a good thing to be like, all right, last week was a bogey or a mulligan. Let's go for it this week. Push you to go meet some new people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll give you an example of a really big missed opportunity that happened on Saturday night. Now, please excuse my discoloration of my shirt. I just went to drink water and it spilled all over my shirt because I missed my mouth. I was just in awe of what you were saying, Matt. So I completely missed my mouth. But hey, I'm human. You've done it before. Everyone watching, so Kai and Lockie have done it before. So I'm just going to keep yapping now. We walked into the club, the reggaeton party. We got our drinks, and then we go to the center of the dance floor, and there's just a girl staring right at me. And I'm staring right back at her. And then I look away. And then, we're dancing.
You're just trying to be nonchalant.
Pretty much. But then we stare at each other again.
How old do you think she was? Good question.
Not 20. No way.
But what does that mean? That could be either way. Which end of the spectrum we go into?
That way. So I'm gonna guess.
What is that word? Older, younger? Just answer the question.
Look, I'm gonna hope it was 27, but realistically, it's probably older.
Not again,
I don't know.
man. Again. You told me this the
Anyways,
first time. I thought, jeez.
the first time felt so nice, I had to do it twice. Anyways, 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 anyways. Then it's like we lock eyes again. And then I look away. And then just how it happened to be, we were like dancing next to each other and like bumping into each other. Yet I still decided to do nothing at all. And that summarizes the whole night, both in the city, at my mate's work, and at the Latin club or the Latin party in South Melbourne. It was just a night of so many missed opportunities because I just didn't do anything. I just stood there and I danced. But the point of going to Latin dancing, doesn't matter what type of Latin dancing is, you dance with people and you meet people. And I did none of that. And it is burning me on the inside because I'm
Didn't
like,
close the loop.
how do I close the loop?
I said didn't close the loop.
Absolutely. There was no closing of the loop whatsoever. So now it feels like, yeah, there's just an untied tie just dangling.
Those are the ones that
Just a
always
loop.
burn.
Absolutely. And I know, briefly we spoke this yesterday, you felt that before. And it's like, it's like you almost cringe hearing that someone else is experiencing that because you know what it feels like.
I think so many young guys would have been in that situation where I think we're a bit too scared to. I mean, this is not just like this is not a dating advice podcast yet, but at least there's such an expectation for us to go up and make a move, and no one knows how to do it. But yet everyone, or at least I feel with a lot of us, it's like a lot of guys, especially people I know, it's like you're so the one thing everyone worries about is being creepy. I've had this chat with so many people. I'm like, bro, you're not creepy. I can promise you now. You're not creepy.
Yeah.
Like,
here's a question for you.
I'll show you creepy. Wait, that sounded really bad. That sounded bad.
Pause.
Yeah, pause me
Like, do you think creepy gets overlapped and misinterpreted as no? Do you think awkwardness gets overlapped and misinterpreted as creepy?
Yes. Yes.
I think so too.
People think because they're awkward, it's going to come off as creepy. But I would actually say being awkward is like, you might make a fool of yourself. And yes, confidence is possibly the key to the game. There's, I do feel for a lot of things, it's like if you are confident and you choose action, then yeah, you're probably going to be better off than not. But like, man, the amount of social interactions you have where it's awkward and it's just like, oh well, whatever. Do you remember that 21st we were at 3 weeks ago from my work? 3, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There you go. You want to hear an awkward social interaction? This is fun stuff. So the girl I work with, who's 21st, it was. I don't know if you met her brother's girlfriend. Maybe, possibly not. I did. I met her, and she's just started working for us today. Now, I was telling other girls I was working with because they asked me who's this person on the roster for the first time. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's XYZ's, relation. Anyway, I was walking up in between shops and saw everyone, said hello, and I just kind of walked past her. And I'm like, maybe that's not that person. Maybe there's two girls with the same name that we've got. So I actually hit her with the "nice to meet you."
Oh,
Then I asked
oh,
Dad, like, "Hey, is that XYZ's, you know, brother's girlfriend?" He's like, "Yep." Shit.
oh, oh,
So,
oh,
I think honestly, just awkwardness is the most human thing ever, isn't it?
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Has anyone
If
not had even the most confident people in the world have awkward interactions because some people aren't ready for the confidence and they just get thrown back. I
yeah,
think it's
and
part of it.
that's part of. I was kind of digesting my night on Saturday on the drive home with my mate, and I was saying that it's almost like I'm scared to go ask people to dance Latin dance because I don't know how to, which one is kind of bullshit because I low key know the basics, so I can get by. But also two, it's the fear of being embarrassed or being awkward or creepy, which is just awkwardness, right? So it's overcoming that barrier that I'm creating for myself and just doing it, closing the loop.
Yeah, I think you would be. I've never been in an interaction where like someone's approached me and I've gone, that's a bit creepy. Unless they were genuinely being like so weird, like telling me to like kiss another person. Have had that happen.
Or forcing it upon you, right? That stuff's kind
Yeah,
of weird.
if you're just going up to someone being like, "Hey,
Want to
you're a really
dance?
cool looking guy. Um, you know, what's your name?" Because you're there by yourself. They're not going to think you're creepy. I've gone to bars around the world, and you just walk up to a group of blokes and introduce yourself and be like, "Hey, I'm here by myself. You mind if I join you lads for a drink?" And like, no one's ever gone, "Nah, what the fuck, that's weird." It's like, yeah, man, join us. That's so cool. Where are you
Yeah.
from?
And
Why are
I
you here
feel
by
like that
yourself?
exactly. I think that applies to both men and women, and also like mixing. You said you go up to a group of guys, but also if you went up to a group of girls
I'll
and you
just tell
did
you
it
to
in
have
the
a
right
boyfriend.
way, pardon,
Probably just tell you to have a boyfriend.
but you're closing the loop, right?
True.
Which is what we
Very
want.
true. Very true.
Because then if you're like, oh, what if I didn't do that, and then it's going to be on your mind for like months and months after that, and you're just going to keep stacking up those situations where you have that happen, and you're like, oh my god, that is like, what do I do? Because it's like you're doing the same thing, expecting a different result, which then ends up just creating a larger fire inside of you, which is it just makes things feel so uncomfortable. And then it's like the more that you add up those, like the bad fuel, and the more that stacks up, the harder I think it is to actually break it and to start closing the loop, because
Yeah.
it's almost like leaving the loop unclosed is the new norm, which it shouldn't be. It doesn't feel right, but if you keep doing it, it's going to feel right.
I'd agree with you. I'd agree
I
with
went
you.
on a bit of a tangent there, but I think
I get
I
the
hope that
idea.
makes sense to you, Lockie and Kai. Are you ready to talk about the mountain metaphor, mate? I think that's appropriate
Yeah.
for what we're discussing now.
Yeah. Um. So, I mean, to segue in kind of nicely. I was on a run on Friday, as I am every Friday on my long run. So I have 4 hours alone in my head which can go in a myriad of different directions. Always. um, and I had an epiphany. Well, not an epiphany, just like I don't know where it came from, but I sent you a video, an 8 minute long video of me talking and running, which having rewatched it now gets a great footage of my chin for 8 minutes. So if you're into that, I hope you enjoy it. Um, and I guess basically what I was getting at with it is for type A people. Now we've discussed what a type A person is from last week, from the Chris Williamson show, where highly motivated, driven, disciplined, want to get better, really focused on their personal growth. I think I've kind of hit the nail on the head there. If there's anything else, please chime in. And what I was kind of thinking about, I'm like, man, it's like, I think I was listening to a motivational video. This is kind of my problem. And I was just kind of thinking about it. I'm like, I was kind of looking at myself and going, man, like over these last couple of years, it's interesting how, I was kind of viewing uni as like a mountain. Like the 3 years of uni is like, okay, we're here in our last year, we're getting towards the top. This is what's happened over the years, etc., etc. I just thought it was really interesting how you kind of look at it as climbing this mountain. You get towards the top, you're looking for that pinnacle. And I guess I made some realizations when putting it into this mountain metaphor is, firstly, it's a lot easier to go down a mountain than it is to climb up a mountain. So if you look at everything like climbing a mountain, yeah, obviously it makes a lot of sense why people quit. Much easier to go down than it is up. Also, I kind of thought, like, when you're doing your self-growth thing, I don't know if you've done this, but you hit periods of plateau, or at least periods where you don't feel you're growing. And I think, like, that was for you Saturday night. You hit a period where you're like, oh, like, I actually know what to do. Like, I have all the tools with my self-growth. This is how I started looking at it recently, in the fact that you can never be perfect, but you can give yourself every single tool in the toolkit to adapt to your situation you're in life. You're never going to, we're always growing, but you're never growing towards anything. There's no such thing. It's not a steady state. It doesn't exist. An equilibrium is not real. There are just times you're in a line and out of a line. But you can give yourself the tools to always be within alignment. Anyway, I kind of got a bit distracted there. But, as you get towards the top of this mountain, the air starts to become thinner. And I think, if you're climbing a mountain, especially a very tall one, the air starts to thin out as you get towards the top. So in that sense, the closer you get to this peak, now that could be running a sub 3 hour marathon. But let me talk about it in a way that's really easy for me to talk about. When you're at 4 hours, making the progress to go from 4 hours to 3.5 hours, it's pretty easy in that sense. But, then to go from 4 hours to 3:30 is possibly the same amount of effort to go from 3:30 to 3:15. And then the effort to go from 3:15 to 3 hours and 5 minutes is the same amount of effort, if not double. And then to go sub 3 hours from, just to gain that last 5 minutes, it's exponentially harder. So it kind of comes back to this: as you get closer to your goal, it always becomes more difficult. Like making those small progresses all of a sudden become exponentially harder. And I guess, that goes to your plateauing point. The next part of this metaphor I kind of came up with was more about when you're so driven, you get to the top, and instead of looking around and appreciating what you've done, you just look out at the horizon and you see the bigger mountains. on the horizon. You go, okay, time to climb that. And I was looking at this mountain of uni, and I go, this has been like possibly the hardest 3 years. When this is said and done this year, like, will I look back and go, that was the most trying 3 years of my life, with challenges, balancing my life, just all round. Like, was I most challenged? Yeah, probably. And then I kind of thought for a second, I'm like, yeah, but that's not going to be anything close in the end of the day. What about kids? What about a real job? Like, and then you start looking at it, and all of a sudden, like, the Himalayas forms on the horizon. But you're like, I want to go climb it. And I guess the important point I wanted to bring it to was, it's not about getting to the top. It's actually about enjoying the climb. If a mountain is a year of your life, you're not only going to celebrate one moment for a whole year, are you?
That's right, because it's going to be a collection of wins and losses. Because as you're climbing up that mountain, you're going to fall back. You're gonna think that you can grab onto that part of the mountain, but then lose your grip, and then you might, take a step back or something like that. But it's celebrating those times, because there are many times where you will grab onto one part of the mountain that you think is kind of hard, and you're not sure if you're going to be able to, but you do, and you grab on and you hold on, and it's celebrating those moments, which I definitely don't do enough. And it seems like, yourself being a type A person as well doesn't do enough. Now, I feel like we're surrounded by people who also don't do that enough. Our mates at uni, right? You look at Philly, Kai, Lockie, it just doesn't feel like we give ourselves enough credit. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would agree. I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for the things that we do consistently, which is very normal. You're just always so driven, which is a double-edged sword, if you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're going to get better, but are you going to be satisfied? Rarely.
I think Chris Williamson labels it as the curse of the overachiever.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Does that sound familiar? It does, right? Yep. And it's literally what you described. That double-edged sword of next mountain. Oh, that one's really big. I'm going to start climbing that one. But hang on, you're at the top of this mountain now. You need to get back down from this mountain first, then walk to the next one. And then when you're at the next one, then you need to climb to the top. It looks close in the horizon when you're at the top of the mountain, but the actual journey to the next one is very far.
Yeah. I would agree with you there. And I mean, we could go on about this for hours. That's the problem. Like, I sent you an 8-minute video, and I was like, oh, there were about 5 more things I could have mentioned. When I cut it, I was like, could have talked about this. Is it about who you surround yourself with, etc.?
Like, have you? All right, let's try to close the loop of this mountain analogy by showing examples in our current life where we have this problem and how we're going to deal with it, how we are going to start celebrating our wins a lot more.
Drinking heavier.
Good.
Is that not the right answer?
Well, it is for you, right? But for me, it might be something different. Like my example is
It is for
as we
you,
all know,
Jesus.
and as everyone, pardon,
Jesus.
what?
It is for you. Fucking hell. And just segue off the topic. Pour me an alcoholic and walked off. Jeez. Nasty. Uncalled for.
What he say fuck me for?
What do you say fuck me for?
My mountain, kind of, right now. Like, well, the next mountain that I'm looking at is, what's going to be my next little hobby that becomes my whole personality. Because, last year it was doing improv classes.
Yep.
This year it's learning how to salsa dance. I'm already thinking, okay, what's next year going to be? Because you know what I've been thinking? Either yoga or Pilates. I just think that'd be fucking hilarious, dude. But like, will I bring myself to actually doing that?
You're actually performative. You are a performative male. You actually are a performative male. You might be the most non-stereotypical performative male I've ever met. Do you drink matcha and own a tote bag and baggy clothes? No. Do you tell everybody you know you do salsa dancing, Pilates, and improv? Yes. Pretty performative, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you there. That is pretty accurate. As much as I hate to admit it, like
Is there
that,
anything wrong with
I
being
do
a
think
performative male?
I missed the first part.
Is there anything wrong? What do we think of the whole performative male concept? Because I could name you some pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if I'm classified as a performative male, which it seems like I am,
I think no. Well, can I give you my point
yeah,
before you just say there's nothing wrong with it because I'm one? That's what you're about to say. Uh-huh. I think it's okay as long as it's authentic.
that's where I was leading towards. Like, but I couldn't really put it into one sentence very well, like you just did.
Aren't we all performatives? I know that we go about I'm a performative male, but isn't every single person performative? Have we all forgotten of this app? I forgot its name. Instagram. Wild idea. Wild thing. People post only the good parts of their life.
Yeah, jeez. And it's
Isn't
like they're
that?
they're posting.
Haven't we been
They're
performative people for like the last
wow.
15 years? Don't our parents do it every time like people come over and they're like, the house needs to be fucking clean. I want the floor swept. I want everything dusted. I don't want any shit on the tables. It's been performative for like the last, it's been performative forever. It's just the human thing to
Mm,
do.
mm. It's
But
like
mainly
it's like we're
Instagram.
playing a. It's like we're telling. This is the script. This is the perception and the role that we want people to see of us, which
Well,
is why you introduce people, yourself to people, and I'm guessing that you'd be like, yeah, I run. Yeah, I'm pretty physically active because that's what you want them to hear, right?
I don't
Mine
mention
a
it straight
year ago,
away.
within 5 minutes.
I will not say I am a runner. However, I will let people find it out.
Okay.
But I won't go into the
Maybe.
specifics. I'll just start with I run. And then if someone
Yeah.
wants to dig a bit deeper, then I'll like, well,
I run pretty well.
well, my whole
Without saying, I
personality is
run
actually
pretty well.
running. However, when I get drunk, I seem to mention a lot. Is what I'm saying. When I get drunk, I don't even try to hide it. I'm just like, yeah, if I go run.
but
Some
that's
girl asks
that's
how your
the
day's been. I go,
that's
shit, ran a 10K. I had recovery today.
and that's the performance that you are wanting to put for people
Well,
of your
to,
life and the perception of your life.
to quote the Dead Poets Society, there's a scene with Robin Williams talking to Neil Perry. Please tell me his name is Neil. Anyway, the main kid in the movie. And he's talking to Robin Williams about how he wants to be an actor and he's scared to tell his dad that he wants to do acting. And Robin Williams just said, "Well, you're already being an actor. You're playing the role of the obedient son." And I think there's a lot to be learned in that. Aren't we all performative? Aren't we all acting? Now we're just, for some reason, we've decided to call out guys when they have a tote bag, random thing, by the way, or read a book on the train.
Yeah.
But like, aren't
Or
we
do salsa
all
dancing.
being performative? Yeah, it's a bit more of a niche one. But like, everyone is performative. All I'm saying is, if you look at an Instagram, you on anyone's Instagram, and there's a photo of them, do they post the best photo of the five they took or the worst?
The best
That's pretty
every single
performative.
time.
That's pretty performative, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And do you think being performative in this aspect in some situations stops people or acts as a barrier for them actually doing something?
I think it has
Doing
potential to
the
be really harmful.
In what way?
I mean, this is only a new trend, but I could see it being harmful, especially to guys. And like we've talked about this a bit about like that authenticity factor and breaking the social matrix and actually just being yourself, and how we all try to act nonchalant.
Mm,
Um,
absolutely, dude.
and
Like,
I could see it just spiraling because a guy will be like, "No, I don't want to be labeled as." We were talking about being labeled as creepy before. Performative is going to be the buzzword of 2026, where people go, "I don't want to be labeled as performative."
and I worry for myself, for other young men like ourselves, that they're just missing a world of opportunity and a world of connection with other people because they don't want to be labeled something. Like how
Well, as much as I like to make
significant.
jokes about you, as much as I like to make jokes about you, I make jokes about you being performative out of the kindness of my heart. Because I know, firstly, you can take it. And I know, secondly, as mates, like, I know you just love it. And, like, at the end of the day, I'm very happy for you that you enjoy it. Just like how
It's
you
also
give me
pretty
shit
funny
all
though.
the time about, like, being a runner, being an alcoholic. Is that performative?
Well.
But you get the idea, right? We give each other shit, and that's fine. But
Absolutely.
there's this whole irrational. I guess we could say it's irrational because, like, I mean, how often do you actually get labelled? I don't know. Like I could just see it spiraling and being really bad, being really, really bad.
And how do you think we can deal with stuff like this?
By getting a MacBook with more charge on it. In response to you asking, by the way, we're back up to some technical difficulties. In response to your question of like how we can deal with this, I think it really just it's going to go back, and we're probably going to sound like a broken record at times. It's just that authenticity bit, being authentically you, and truly believing that, and just knowing, okay, this is exactly who I am. I mean, I tried to journal last night and just being like, when are the moments where I actually feel connected with myself? Like, when do I feel great? What are the social situations and what am I doing makes me feel like, yeah, I'm being myself right now. I'm being exactly who I am. I'm not putting any facade on. I'm not acting in any way. And it's really going to come back to that authenticity bit. And to segue into a new thing, so something I had this again, I had another epiphany this week. We're going to have to workshop a name. Is right now we're stuck at the significance, insignificance, significance paradox. Bit of a mouthful. And it comes down to this. Say you come into any moment in life, if it's applying for a job. Let's use the applying for a job example, just to give us a bit of a breadth of examples that isn't social or him trying to talk to Latina girls.
What's wrong with that?
We just need something different on the podcast, mate.
Mate, we have plenty of stories.
Do we? We have about 2 so far.
Super coach.
Sorry. Anyways.
LinkedIn.
4. That's it. You've named all 4.
Yeah, that's 2 more than 2.
Okay, you doubled it. Good job.
Hey,
performative.
Next mountain, I might make it 8.
Trust me, mate. You're not even at base camp yet.
Ow.
Anyways, you're the real definition of turning a molehill into a mountain. But anyway, what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. Let's put it like this: you're applying for a job, and this is the significance paradox. You come in, you're nervous. You're like, I don't want to apply because I'm worried I will get rejected. And it's kind of, I need to draw it out so we can have a good diagram. But think about it like this. We have action here. This is action. And this is the moment before action. And the moment before action, we put all this significance on action. Like, we almost make the next move we're going to do the most important thing in the world. You have your own brain convinced that if this doesn't work out, I will die. Like, that's it. My world is over. I'm going to get embarrassed. I'm never coming back from this, which is always a lie. You've always come back. We are on this podcast right now. Anyway. Yeah, it could be shaped like a bell curve, if you think about it, or an inverted U. So anyway, here we are, moment before action. We put this incredible amount of significance into it. Now, there's either two things that happen. A, you get the job. B, you don't get the job. And this is the magical thing about the paradox. If you get the job, that moment where you took action is incredibly significant. Is you look back and go, yeah, I remember when I did that. You know, maybe I was applying for a job that was a little bit outside of my skill level, but I got it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so happy I took that action. That is a significant moment in my life. If you didn't get the job, you read the email, it says, Louie John, thank you very much for applying, but we're not looking for a candidate of your skill level at the moment. Yada, yada, yada. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Guess what? The 2 days you've You've mostly forgotten about it. And after 2 months, you forgot you even applied for it. That is the significance paradox. Things only are ever significant if it works out. One I was thinking about was go ask your parents how they met. If you ask your parents how they met, and I know, Louie, you tell me your parents met at a wedding. Let's just say for whatever reason they were talking and they didn't hit it off. Not anything bad happened, but we've all had conversations with people and you go, actually, I don't really have chemistry with this person. You don't make any effort to follow up. That's it. It's the end of a thread. You don't talk again. Guess what? How many of those interactions would you have had in your life? You wouldn't even be able to count because you've forgotten them all. But the ones that worked out, you remember. And that's the beauty of this significance paradox. We need a better name.
The SIS paradox?
I was just thinking maybe the cis paradox. Nah, kind of sounds like something you'd find on a teenager's head.
The SIS paradox. What's wrong with
that? We'll workshop a name. We'll workshop a name.
Yeah.
That's our homework for the week.
Now this is a question for you, Matt. How does, when a lack of action with something, now I'm going to use the example of me on Saturday night, the lack of action of going up and dancing with that person.
Perfect example.
How does that, because to me that still feels very significant. The good result didn't happen because I made a decision.
The only reason what was the first thing I said we needed in the paradox was action.
Yeah. And I decided to take the action of inaction.
Well, you just took inaction. Let's not make it too complicated. You just took inaction. So this paradox can't prove itself if you don't do anything. If you don't do anything about it, then you go, well, it will probably be significant because you'll burn yourself up. The whole idea is you have to take action. You have to, James, I think we mentioned on last week's podcast about closing the loops. There's no such thing as confidence, to quote, and I don't 100% agree with this, but we'll go with it. At least the whole thing is there's no such thing as confidence. There's just two things in life. There's action and inaction. It's the path of action. You do not close the loop of something. Let's say for you, that would be talking to that girl for a drink.
Or dancing with them, yeah.
Dancing with them, whatever it is, whatever that may be. If you don't close the loop, you burn yourself up about it. You're into yourself. It haunts you. It will actually haunt you. It could haunt you in a year because in your head, you're still burning up with I'll never know what this could have been, which is also something that I think gets a lot of people about relationships is that you get too attracted to the potential, the what could have been, and not the actual. And this goes in, what we're just talking about here. Like for you, it's that what could have been. If I had acted, what could have been? Well, you'll never know. And that is that is where this paradox can't prove itself because, well, you didn't take action. What we're saying is, I guess what I'm trying to push with this is take action. No matter what it is, just choose the path of action. Choose to, choose to apply for the job. Choose to talk to that guy sitting by himself in your class at uni. Choose to talk to the girl on the train. Choose to talk to the girl in the Latin club. Choose to talk to the girl about Supercoach.
Choose to ask for their LinkedIn.
This shouldn't just become a Louie John bashing session, as much as I think that would be very fun. But choose the path of action. Because ultimately, if you choose the path of action, and if it doesn't work out, you just forget. You actually just forget the amount of times in any social action where, like, I've gone talk to someone, you know, you go talk to someone at a party, you know, or a group of guys. Like, as much all the, you know, I was saying, like, you go talk to someone overseas and they're so chill about, like, can I join you guys for a drink? Yeah, but also, like, been in that spot and it's dead. You guys chat for a minute, it's very awkward. Like, oh well. But guess what? You don't burn yourself up about it. So, within this paradox, I guess the ultimate key is take action. Because if you take action, you cannot lose. If you take action, it will, as much as that moment, it might feel so scary in that moment to do the thing. It might feel so significant that your life will literally end if it doesn't work out. In fact, it will only be significant if it works out.
Yeah, I've got a great example of that yesterday. So there's someone in my salsa class who is also doing like the practice, and I've known her for probably about a month and a half now. Now, in the past, something that I would have done is, you know, she was kind of like a couple people over, a couple partners over. So there was clearly a distance between us. And then she was kind of looking in my direction, and I looked over in hers and I waved. Now, I don't think she saw me because she wasn't looking at me, right? But that single situation would have eaten me alive 2 months ago because I wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, has anything changed with, you know, the friendship that we're forming, me and her? No, nothing at all. Would I have thought it would have as a result of me not saying anything? Absolutely. And it just highlights your point of we need, like, the action, doesn't matter what the result of the action is, the action will help close the loop.
Simple as that.
Mate, I really enjoyed this podcast today. Like, even as you were explaining the paradox at the end, I got goosebumps. And normally a physiological sign for me when I really believe something is when I get goosebumps. So
did it stick?
Do you know what?
Did it stick?
Did that shit stick?
Did it stick?
Yes, the good shit sticks.
Good
and
shit
that
sticks.
did stick.
We're just going to have to get a name. We're just going to have to get a name.
We'll get one.
I think my old friend, Mr. GP, can help me with a name.
Absolutely. All right. Well, do you want to do the honors of signing off for this week?
Yeah, I'll sign us off for this week. So that concludes episode 3 of the Running Your Life podcast. I've been Matthew Knothe.
I'm Louie John.
Have a great week, everyone. Please remember to take action. Choose the path of action actively. As long as you're being your authentic yourself and choosing, guess what? It won't matter that much. And it'll only matter if you win. Only matter if you're successful. As simple as that. Have a great week. Hey, DM.
Have a great week, guys. Carpe diem.
Seize the day.
All right, we'll see you guys
Lots
next
of
week.
love.